Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Archangels and Ascended Masters, for the perfect grace, perfect clarity, and perfect peace that's here for each of us right now. Thank you to the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this moment right now. And with great sincerity, we celebrate the presence of the angels, the presence of Mother, Father, God, and help happening right now. We thank as well the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for all the good that's here. And we allow perfect help to happen right now. And whichever way the arrow was pointing, we let it point it toward ourselves, pointed toward good, and we allow absolute ease and healing, absolute ease and abundance. We let everything be easy. We recognize this air of complication and heaviness. We choose to be light. We choose to be simple. And in that simplicity, we recognize that there's enough love for everyone, including us. So we allow the math to be simple and for it to add up to greatness for all of us right now. Let's just breathe in. Right. Perhaps through sight, but we can include feeling, knowing, hearing. We can just notice deer. Perhaps just noticing deer and or reindeer grazing. We could just notice that as an image. And if we could notice that peace exists right now on the planet. So if we could notice that there are deer that are peaceful and present and grazing, there are reindeer who are peaceful, present and grazing, there are birds flying, owls swooping, that there's peace on the planet right now. If we could just acknowledge that and allow ourselves to participate in that peace. So we'll just breathe in and let that happen. We could just breathe in and allow that to be with the same simplicity of knowing that something is happening in the background, like having music play in another room. So if we could just breathe in and let that be. And right where you are right now, if you could notice Archangel Ariel leaning in front of you and her hands on both of your knees. We could notice that connection with her and you, her touching these two major joints. Just let her infuse into your joints. Great peace, letting that move up your body and down your body. That great peace. Letting this archangel touch you with incredible sincerity and loving grace. And we'll notice the peace that's available right now. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into that. And if we could allow as a feeling, not a thought, but as a feeling, if we could allow right now the things that you can't do or that idea that you can't do certain things, let's very simply take a moment to notice the feeling of that, which might be active in your life, might be dormant, might be a little bit to the left or to the right. If we could just notice that feeling, and if we could let Archangel Ariel, in the same way that she's had her hands on your knees, let's let her grab hold of that doubt or that denial. If we could notice her reshaping it, transmuting it, transforming it, like clay, like silly putty or Play Doh, if we could just breathe in and just let that happen. And if we could perhaps feel in our hearts what it's like for that doubt to be transformed. And if we could say, we're going to say a bunch of affirmations out loud. If we could just say, out loud, I can breathe. I can feel without being overwhelmed. I do exist. My heart is powerful. I choose to be grounded right now. I welcome the best into my life. I welcome love into my life. I know exactly what to do, and I celebrate my life right now. Thank you for all the goodness that is here for me. I dive into the pool of greatness. Wonderful. If we could just breathe into all that. So let's let Ariel continue to work and letting her transform doubt into affirmation. And if we could notice a dozen more angels that you know by name coming forward to join her and to join you. Let's let those angels turn off the TV, turn off the radio. And if we could just breathe in and enjoy presence, to feel the presence of 13 angels right where you are, to feel the presence of deer grazing, whales swimming, the recognition once again that peace does exist on the planet. Let's allow ourselves to be influenced by that peace, that reminder. And if we could allow a simple thing, simple thought, but we don't need to be constantly generating our own goodness right now, that there's goodness for us that's held. The angels hold great hope and great prayer for us. Others have also. The wishes and dreams that we've put forward for ourselves of what we want to have happen, the world that we want to inhabit. So we could feel this moment that it's okay to relax and it's okay for great healing to happen. So if we could take in a breath, and with Archangel Ariel, her hands free in front of you, and Archangel Michael, his hands free behind you, let's let them touch different parts of your body, perhaps the central chakras. And if we could just take in a breath and notice your throat chakra having Ariel's hands in front and Michael's hands behind. And if we could just take in a breath and very simply allow these angels to release anything that feels constrictive in your throat, in your voice, in your neck. To let anything in those mechanisms, the physical mechanism of swallowing, of speaking, of breathing, there's a lot happening there, of your head turning, of flexibility. We could breathe and let Michael and Ariel cleanse and clear and harmonize that part of you. And like an echo in a canyon or a reverb on a guitar, if we could let that work that they're doing on your throat and your throat chakra, all those mechanisms, the back of your neck and such, if we could let them continue. And let's add to that these two archangels touching your heart chakra, front and back, which includes your physical heart. So if we could let them do the same of releasing any constriction, releasing any sense of damage to your heart by others or by life, letting a sense of wholeness and peace happen, letting a great experience happen. And just allowing that to be. And from your heart, like an extension or an expansion, if we could notice with the same focus on your heart, especially Archangel Ariel, move your hands out to hold the sides of your arms. Let's notice that extension of the heart moving out. And her wording, she's confirming that blood is flowing for you from the heart all the way through the body, into the arms, into the hands, into the feet, into the head. That distance is easy. If we can honor, congratulate, and celebrate your heart working so well. That energy is constantly moving in your body in the most positive way. That there's nothing missing, there's only good here. So we'll just breathe into that. Good. Um, Hang on a second. Can you guys give words for that? Yeah. Let's let, even if you are, so however you're visualizing this, let's just notice Archangel Michael leaning against your lower three chakras and Ariel doing the same. So Michael is leaning against solar plexus, sacral chakra, and root chakra, as is Ariel behind you. If we could just breathe into that. And if we could notice and feel the relaxation that is here, the generosity that is present, and the happiness and wholeness that is available. Fantastic. We could just breathe into that. And we'll just take a moment to notice the existence of good and the harmony that is present. And Michael, relaxed, leaning against these chakras. Wonderful. And as they continue to lean, let's let them maintain their space there. We'll notice two different angels, Archangel Zadkiel and Archangel Raziel, them touching your crown chakra. And if we can notice them touching as much of your head as four angel hands can, if we could just breathe into their care. Let's just very simply let these two angels heal everything in and around or influencing your consciousness. And if we can notice them removing any constant exposure to negativity, be that in how you were raised, or the media, or both, if we can notice those elements of negativity moving away and allowing, perhaps with the same consistency and the same nurturing, let's notice good news. Let's allow good news. Let's celebrate good news. If we could just take in a breath, let's say a couple things out loud. I love receiving good news. I love hearing good news. I love delivering good news. Thank you for my having good news to share. I invite and welcome good news every day. I embrace good news for all. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into all that. So if we could feel in this moment, like Gumby, a stretch. Let's just notice the angels stretching you in the most elegant and feeling good way possible. Let's notice that elongation, including hope, going indeed to the cafe of hope and having a special of letting things go and embracing goodness. We could just breathe into all that, to feel all that goodness, to feel that focus, that calm, to feel a wonderful release, to feel a dose of trust and a wonderful experience of grounding. If we could just breathe into all this, welcoming healing, empowerment, and goodness. And from in this moment, with this stretch, we could feel how everything is available. So anything that feels out of reach, if we could notice in our flexible selves that we're able to effortlessly reach everything, and that we are available for the highest good. Let's say out loud, I welcome good news. My life is a source of good news. Wonderful. If we could just breathe into all that. Good. And so with Raziel and Zadkiel at your head, Michael and Ariel leaning against your lower three chakras, if we could notice Archangel Haniel with her hands warming your heart and her eyes on the same horizon as your eyes. If we could just breathe into this gentle angel looking you straight in the eye and speaking directly to you, if we could just breathe in. And as Archangel Gabriel said in our work the previous night, intuition is a wish and a gift. Let's very simply say out loud, thank you, Archangel Haniel, for the gift of your guidance. If we could breathe in and just receive. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in. And we'll just lovingly say out loud, thank you, Haniel. If we could notice for a moment all this help that's here. If we could just really acknowledge that there's a lot of help right at this moment. And if we could very simply, without any sense of distance or disassociation, if we could just let every part of ourselves recognize there's a lot of help right here. Michael, Ariel, Haniel, Zadkiel, Raziel, the other angels, Metatron, Gabriel, Uriel. We could just breathe and recognize that help. And to all the angels that are here, we could say out loud, thank you for helping me. I choose to fully receive your help right now. All of my systems are working perfectly right now, including the system of receptivity. I embrace good right now. I choose to feel good every day right now. I express myself freely. I am heard and I hear others. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in. Okay, wonderful. So if we could just feel all this love, and in the same way, perhaps a grandmother or an aunt would put cookies that they baked for you into a tin and hand it to you or send it to you. Let's let the angels put love, hope, clarity, grounding, peace, all these good things, affirmations, prayer, love. Let them put that in your heart. And we can know that that's there and access it anytime, including right now. So if we could just breathe in, and to the 13 angels that are here, we'll say out loud, or more, we'll say out loud, thank you so much. And thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, archangels and ascended masters, for this moment of clarity. We celebrate peace right now. We celebrate love right now. We invite goodness into our hearts, into our consciousness, and into the world. And we celebrate all this peace right now. And with wonderful generosity, great good, and peace of mind, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is.